YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine, and today I am reacting to Peter Hollens feat. Tim Foust, F-O-U-S-T. In the last video I accidentally said Frost. It's cover of Misty Mountains, which, if you guys remember, I reacted to Jeff Castellucci's version of, he titled it Misty Mountains Cold. But this song is from The Hobbit, or Hobbit series, and I'm excited. I really do like Peter Hollens, and I've heard good things about Tim Foust. I heard he's quite the bass singer, just like Jeff, and that he can go as low, if not lower than Jeff can go on a regular basis. But I'm excited to see this cover, and let's get into it.
Far over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away ere break of day, to find our long forgotten gold. The pines were roaring on the height, the winds were moaning in the night, the fire was red, it flaming spread, the trees like torches blazed with light. The wind was on the withered heath, but in the forest stand beneath, their shadows lay, be night or day, and dark things silent crept beneath. The wind went on from west to east, all movement in the forest ceased, but shrill and harsh across the marsh, its whistling voices were released. Farewell we call to hearth and home, the wind may blow
So that was Peter Hollens and Tim Faust's version of Misty Mountains from the Hobbit series. And this version was interesting. Let's just get out of the way. In terms of costuming, I love how, to me, it sounds like they are from two very different class systems. Tim Faust, to me, is giving more of like an aristocratic hobbit versus Peter that seems more like the commoner. I love the little golds. I don't know if that's supposed to be a vest or whatever is draped over Tim's chest. And his like fur like looking coat, and I love Peter's belt. Kind of like simple drape over, and of course his little hood cape thing that he has. Right off the bat, one thing I noticed is warm tones versus cool tones. Peter having more of kind of like the earthly warm tones, more bright, a little bit more vibrant, where Tim seems to be cooler tones with that kind of misty mountain like, or you can think of it as like Peter's day, Tim is night, if that makes any sense. Now, in terms of singing, this is a hot take, but I don't really think they went together as smoothly as I expected. Now, I understand they are two different ranges. I believe Tim is a bass, and I'm not sure what Peter is. But when they're singing together, Tim kind of takes over what Peter sings. Now, that could very well be a stylistic choice. Peter could have chosen to not sing as high as Tim. And, usually I don't have a problem with that. But at times I feel like I was losing Peter because I was hearing Tim. Now, let me get this straight. Or, let me set the record straight here. They are both great singers. I actually listen to a lot of Peter Hollens' songs. So I love him as a singer. I'm still relatively new to Tim Faust. I've heard of him, and I heard that he's a good bass singer. But I haven't really listened to any of his songs or renditions that he has done. And I almost feel like I'm having two different renditions within a rendition. Tim is definitely kind of more of that bass, deeper tone of the song, where Peter to me was a lot more, the best way I could put it is he felt more gospel like, not just because he was singing in a higher range than Tim, but the way he was singing it, which was great, of course, felt to me very gospel-like. And again, personally, I don't think it went that well together. It wasn't like I was listening to two very different songs within a song. It's just one kind of outruled the other. And I'm curious, the part where he starts to sing "The Wind Came from the West to East," is that an added lyric, or was that in the original song? And the reason why I'm asking that is because when I listened to Jeff Castellucci's version, I don't remember this part being sung. But it was great, hearing it, I'm just curious if it was part of the original song or if this was an added lyric or verse that Peter and Tim put in. Again, some parts of the song I like, some parts I didn't. I prefer it to be a little different. I like that Peter does right before he starts singing "The wind went from the west to the east." Again, it sounds very gospel-like. And I just want to talk about Tim Foust's low at the end. Yes, it was low, but I don't know if it was just my headset, but I felt like he was supposed to go lower than he actually did. Again, that could just be my headset, and me just not being able to hear how low he actually went. He could definitely go low, but another problem with this song personally in this rendition is I wish Tim had shown a little bit more vocal range, because that kind of low note at the end, I'm like, oh, that's what they mean by he's a bass, or he could be a low bass. I don't want to say that Tim was very monotone throughout the entire song, but he kind of did sing in like one range, changing ever so slightly, and then by the time that low came at the end, it just, personally, again, it kind of felt a little out of place. It's like you're doing your low now towards the end of the song, and then I don't know if it was just this video, because it kind of sounded like it cut Tim off at the end. Like, his last word was, sorry, my computer's being silly, mountain tall, and then it kind of like cuts off after he says that, which to me was a little weird, but maybe that's just the video editing. But overall, I really like this. I just wish Tim had gotten a little more of a vocal range. And then I love the lighting. I'm looking at the last notes from Tim now, and I like that shadow that's kind of like cast over his side, giving that kind of nighttime look, as I mentioned earlier, versus when Peter sings, it's definitely like daytime, which to me definitely ties back to the Fellowship of the Ring, the first of the Lord of the Rings, kind of like night versus day, what happens. And yeah, so tell me what you guys think. I just want to make it clear that I am not trying to compare Jeff Castellucci to Tim Faust, or Jeff Castellucci to Tim Faust and Peter Hollens. Each one of those three have their own uniqueness, and they are bringing their own uniqueness to this song, which we've all heard many, many versions of this song. So I don't want to say that, Jeff is better or Peter and Tim are better. Personally, having listened to both versions, right now I prefer Jeff's version. But I would take some of Peter's version. And I want to make this clear. I'm not saying Tim Faust is bringing this song down. He is not. I just don't think he goes that well with Peter's range. If he ever does this with Jeff, I'm curious how two bass singers, like how they would go together. But I love them each as their own individual singer. Or for Jeff being part of voice play. But definitely tell me what you guys think. Also, I forgot what I was going to say. Also, I will be definitely reacting more to Peter Hollens. I love him. And I definitely love a lot of his songs, especially his version of Hellfire from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I definitely will try to listen to more Tim Faust's songs. He's kind of hard to find on YouTube. I'm not sure if he just didn't release it on like his own channel. Because when I found this video, for instance, I found it under Peter Hollens' channel instead of Tim. But I will definitely try to listen to more Tim. And again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And have a great rest of the day, everyone.